Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. When I see people that look like me that are drumming so hard for this administration, sometimes I just feel like giving them a conk. Yeah, that is what I feel like doing because I don't know how a young man that is old enough to understand better than an older person will be behaving like this. And then I don't also know how an old person that is old enough to teach the younger ones behave the way they behave. And I also do not understand why some Africans are in community with their oppressors, thinking that they are making fun of people that look like me. It really sounds very weird and kind of dumb too. That the best you can do is to be in community with the person that also do not want you to be prosperous. How is that even possible that a human being will do something like that? But it's happening. I also know that there was a parade, Zulu parade. There is actually a clash between South Africans and Black people. And I am seeing them create some kind of videos that are not really cool. I think we can all do better as people. We can learn to respect one another because this is not the way forward. And seeing some South Africans trying to mock people that look like me, it's also not really cool. It's disgusting, actually. Let's get into this video.
Folks, these are the type of behind the scenes Trump moments that the mass media propaganda machine will never show y'all. And I repeat, never. This right here is DJT receiving a Purple Heart from a veteran. That's it right there. Now, you may be curious, why exactly would he deserve a Purple Heart? Answer to that one is simple. The man took a literal bullet for his country. And to those of y'all who say he didn't do it for his country, he did it for himself, listen to how foolish you sound. This is a 78-year-old billionaire with a beautiful family and literally everything at his fingertips. But instead of living out the rest of his life on the golf course with his grandbabies and his family, instead, he chose to do this. And he didn't just choose to do this, he chose to persist through this. After lies, smear campaigns, lawfare, they literally almost took the man's life on stage. And he chose to continue to stand for the very same country that tried to take him out. Now, I'm not saying that the people who love this country, but I'm saying that there are those that he is benefiting at this very moment who would rather see him lose his life. And yet he still continues to carry on. And if you still hate DJT after that, you likely just hate yourself and you have nothing else to give besides what's already in you. Receiving a Purple Heart from a veteran.
So you want the mainstream media to cover the fact that Donald Trump got a Purple Heart when he didn't earn it. You never served in the military. And it shows. You never served in the military. And it shows. For someone to give Donald Trump a Purple Heart would be literally stolen valor. But more than anything, it shows that just how bankrupt this country is. That's the third one. Donald Trump got 5 deferments from Vietnam. Donald Trump said dodging STDs in college was his own Vietnam. Donald Trump said of an actual prisoner of war, Senator John McCain, he's a war hero because he was captured. I like people who weren't captured. According to several former generals, he called American service members suckers and losers. When the Iranians attacked a military base and a bunch of soldiers ended up with TBIs, he said there were headaches. And you want the mainstream media to cover the fact that he was given yet another Purple Heart for something he didn't do. You've never served in the military. That's disrespectful. It is. It would be the equivalent of me receiving someone's Purple Heart. I didn't earn it. I've never been shot at. I have deployed to a combat zone, but I was never shot at. Donald Trump didn't even have the courtesy to serve in the war he was supposed to go in, thanks to his father, Fred Trump. You want the mainstream media to cover stolen valor and, I don't know, hero worship? Do you see how stupid that sounds? Did you hear yourself before you made this video? And then you use this video for fighting for... Donald Trump receives a Purple. He didn't receive shit. Somebody gave him one. He didn't receive that fucking thing because he didn't earn it. You see, normally you get a Purple Heart when you sustain wounds during combat, in a war, while being in the service, the United States military. Donald Trump received a Purple Heart for absolutely nothing, and this will be his third. And you think this is a good thing. It is people like you that make me be ashamed, that makes me ashamed of what I did to protect your right to say this stupid ass shit. I cannot believe this. Sometimes it surprises me the levels in which some people will go to be accepted. You know, had you showed up at that protest and said nothing, nobody would have said anything. It was a protest after all. But you showed up in that shirt. And then I think of these people and how ashamed of you they would be. What is it about validation from the Trump crowd that you need so badly that you would show up like you the ops at a rally or a protest? And even with me explaining it to you as calmly and as quietly as I possibly can, you still won't get it. You will give me the Democrats is the party of and the Republicans, like that made any difference to these people. Do you think, look at them. Do they look like they are Democratic supporters or Republican supporters? Don't worry, I'll wait. But while you ponder that, why exactly do you guys need that validation? I don't. If I went to a Trump rally, I'd wear my Mother F. Donald John Trump Club t-shirt because it's a Trump rally and I want people to know how I feel about him. But you intentionally went to a peaceful protest with that bullshit on. For what?
South Bowman. Well, hello there. It's time for another episode of preparing you for bullying so we can stop it. Now, I'm going to give you examples of things people might say. It's an extensive list, so buckle up. Some might say, your eyes look like runaway slaves, and the tips of your nostrils are dogs chasing after each eye, respectively. I could fit 6 more eyes in between the 2 that you already have. Some might say, which is wrong and bullying, and I won't allow it. Some might say that you dress like a slave anyway. On the regular, I never liked that they'd say that, but it's probably something they'd say. And I'm going to prepare you for it, so you won't feel as down about it. Some might say, we know exactly who did those braids. And it wasn't a black American. We can tell by the new growth, some might say. Is your brain wired differently than the normal space-eyed person? It seems like your brain would have to work twice as hard to reach those distances so you could blink at the same time. Some might say, and it pisses me off thinking they say that to you, you wide-eyed, fish-like gorgeous girl. Some might say that your hairline is receding and advancing. Can't make up its mind here, some would say. Might be those tight African fingers. Some might say, and I don't like it. What happens in New Orleans is quite different, and it's actually out of respect for Zulu culture. The connection that New Orleans and South Africa had. The blackface was meant to represent the character of black people and to make fun of it. Not to disrespect Zulu people, but you had this in mind. You thought about us speaking caution. Do we really want to get into what others were doing on land? Do we really want to talk about land, where cotton comes from? I don't think so. Look at your eyes go on the wrist to the sides of your head. Your eyebrows are the pointers, so they know where to go. Let's not do this to one another. Will not end well for you. All black people make jokes, but black Americans make a different type of jokes. And I love my South African people, but get your wide-eyed, freakish girl, some might say. Freakish little eyes, others might say. It's coming to get me, some might say. I can see it moving now. Others might say, and I don't like that. Consider yourself prepared.
This is all I got from this video. And sincerely speaking, you see some black men that behave like this are a huge turn off, big time. I really do not know why they do what they do. But this is what black people wake up every day to see. Seeing a full-grown man or a full-grown woman coming out to be silly on the internet, it's really crazy. Seeing that big man, that old man, that young boy, the young boy that started the video, I am sure he's no more than 32, 35, but I may be wrong, right? How did he get there? I don't know, but it's in kind of I see it like a weird behavior. And the old man that is old enough to know what is wrong and what is right, how did he get there? Now, this is me trying to tell black people that no matter how hard you fight for things to be better, right? There are some people that will still be there to tell you that you aren't doing good enough. No matter how hard you work as a black person to dismantle the system that is oppressing black people, right? There will still be a coon somewhere misbehaving. You heard me right. Sometimes you cannot advise them because their mind is already made up. And he is racking so much views on the internet, talking bad on his own people, because I know he was shady. But first of all, that shows how mentally ignorant he is. He is not a smart man. And the older man is also not smart too. They are both very weak. mentally. Now, let me say this. I know there is I decided not to bring that Zulu parade that happened in New Orleans, and also Black people and the South Africans having, like, clashing out on the internet. I do not like bringing diaspora war and problems, and it's not a war, like problems and all that, because it's still the same people that look like me. Because the last video you watched from Crystal Black is a South African girl trying to tell Black people that your ancestors picked cotton and all that. There are so many ways to resolve problems instead of coming online. I don't know. I just do not understand why. I think this thing only happened online. South Africans, I don't know why they are fighting everybody. But I want you all to know that we are all the same. Enough of batching one another. Enough of looking for a way to denigrate one another. And I think we can always agree to disagree, right? And it's amazing how I am seeing comments like a white woman saying, "Can I get braids?" Asking them, "Can I get braids?" Or "I will defend you." They will tell them that the South Africans will say, "Don't worry, get braids. We will defend you when the time comes." Who are you people fooling? Who are you fooling? It is amazing how you all align yourselves so much with your oppressors, and you think Black people are your problem. I think the problem is that some people really do need to sit down and learn history. When you are done learning history, you come back and we can talk. I do not act anymore on mere emotions. I do not act anymore on just because I am supposed to act. I act when there is need for me to act. And when I see there is need for somebody to act, there are some things that do not push me or get to me. I take my time before I talk about it. But we really all can do better. You know, majority of African countries are so quick to jump, to criticize, to join their own oppressor, to criticize people that look like me without even knowing their history, without even knowing anything. So who are you supporting? Bye for now.